Power is never complete without knowledge. A sword in the hands of a fool is useless. Wealth in the hands of the ignorant vanishes. Authority without understanding collapses. The mind, sharpened daily, is the hidden weapon that makes every other weapon lethal. Most men neglect this. They think education ends after school. They confuse knowledge with certificates. They stop learning, and their minds rot. They waste hours in gossip, in entertainment, in scrolling through illusions. And then they wonder why their lives remain ordinary. But you must be different. You must be ruthless with your time. Every day, you must sharpen your mind like a blade. Read what others ignore. Study what others dismiss. Steal wisdom from the dead, from the ruthless, from the victorious. Each lesson becomes another stone in your fortress. Machiavelli understood. A ruler who is ignorant is already defeated, even before the battle begins. Fortune does not serve the blind. Fortune bends for the prepared. The man whose knowledge lets him predict, calculate, and strike with precision. So let this be your law. Educate yourself daily, or be ruled by those who do. Comment it now, burn it into your code. My knowledge is my weapon. 2. The law of daily sharpening. Knowledge is not a one-time gift. It is not something you collect once and then carry forever. Knowledge is like fire. It must be fed daily or it dies. That is why most men are powerless. They learn something once and then they stop. They let their minds grow dull while the world keeps moving. You cannot afford that mistake. If you want to rise above the masses, your education must never end. Every single day, you sharpen your weapon. One page, one lesson, one new strategy. Small gains, repeated endlessly, become unstoppable force. Think about it. A single drop of water is nothing, but drops repeated every day carve rivers through mountains. That is what daily education does. It cuts through weakness, through ignorance, through failure. It turns your mind into a tool sharper than steel. Machiavelli warned that men who fail to learn are slaves to fortune. They react instead of predict. They stumble while the wise man advances. But the man who educates himself daily becomes dangerous because he sees what others miss. He knows what others ignore. He is prepared while others are blind. Start today. Feed your mind. Refuse stagnation. Comment it now and claim it. I sharpen my mind daily. 3. The silent power of knowledge. Knowledge is dangerous because it is invisible. You can see a man's wealth in his clothes. You can see his strength in his body, but you cannot see the depth of his mind until it is too late. That is why knowledge is the perfect weapon. It hides in silence, then strikes with precision. Most people underestimate this. They chase the obvious signs of power, money, muscles, possessions. They polish what can be seen while neglecting what cannot. But what is seen can be stolen. What is unseen, your knowledge, cannot be taken. It remains yours alone. Think of the strategist who enters battle already knowing the enemy's weakness. He looks calm, even casual, because the outcome is already written in his mind. His rivals may appear stronger, but strength without strategy collapses under pressure. That is the edge knowledge gives you. Machiavelli knew this well. A prince who understands human nature, history, and strategy rules longer than the one who relies only on brute force. Because force breaks when met with greater force. But intelligence adapts, bends, survives, and then conquers. When you educate yourself daily, you build layers of hidden power. You learn the patterns of men, their desires, their fears, their predictable mistakes. You gain foresight, and foresight is control. While others stumble blindly, you move with clarity. While they react, you anticipate. And the best part? No one sees it coming. They underestimate you. They laugh, they doubt, they ignore. Then, when the moment arrives, you move with knowledge, and they realize too late they were already defeated. Write it now in the comments. Claim it as your identity. My knowledge is my hidden power. 4. The fortress of daily discipline. Knowledge alone is not enough. Information without discipline is chaos. Most men read one book, watch one lecture, hear one clever idea, and then do nothing with it. They let wisdom slip through their fingers like sand. That is why they remain weak. That is why they remain ordinary. Discipline is the fortress that guards knowledge. Without discipline, learning is wasted. With discipline, learning becomes power. Every page you read, every lesson you absorb, every insight you record, it stacks like bricks. Day after day, you are building walls inside your mind. Those walls protect you from ignorance, from confusion, from manipulation. Think of it like this: the undisciplined man consumes knowledge the way a glutton consumes food, without thought, without order, without control. He grows fat with half-digested ideas, but never stronger. The disciplined man digests slowly, carefully. He absorbs, he applies, he grows sharper, stronger, untouchable. Machiavelli knew this truth. Rulers who lacked discipline collapsed under fortune's weight. They reacted wildly, chasing pleasures, chasing comfort. But those who studied daily, who trained their minds as soldiers train their swords, stood firm even when fortune turned against them. This is why discipline in learning matters. It is not about speed, it is about repetition. Every day, no matter how small, you add another brick to your fortress. Some days, it may be a book. Other days, a single lesson. But the act of showing up daily is what separates you from the distracted masses. The disciplined learner is feared. Why? Because he never stops growing. While others waste years in comfort, he becomes unrecognizable. His mind becomes an armory, his discipline the fortress protecting it. And when the time comes to act, his power is unmatched. Write it now in the comments and seal it as your vow. My discipline builds my fortress. 5. The compounding edge. Power is never built in a single day. Victory is never earned in one battle. Both are carved slowly, piece by piece, through persistence, and knowledge is no different. It compounds, it multiplies. Small lessons repeated daily grow into an advantage so massive that no rival can touch you. Most men do not understand this. They want instant results. They crave shortcuts. They read one book and expect to become wise. They watch one lecture and think they understand life. But wisdom doesn't arrive with a single strike. Wisdom is layered, stacked, forged in time. When you educate yourself daily, you are compounding power. One lesson today may seem small. One insight tomorrow may feel insignificant. But add them up, year after year, and they become a weapon that no man can match. You will see patterns others miss. You will predict outcomes before they unfold. You will stand in silence, already knowing the moves your rivals will make, because your mind has rehearsed them 1,000 times before. This is the law of compounding. The patient man always defeats the impatient. The disciplined student always defeats the lazy pretender. Machiavelli himself knew that fortune bows not to the reckless, but to the prepared. And preparation is nothing more than knowledge stacked daily until it becomes instinct. Think of a soldier training every day. His muscles may not grow overnight. His endurance may not appear in a week. But after years, he becomes something unbreakable. The same law applies to your mind. Every page you turn, every idea you dissect, every strategy you memorize, it sharpens you, not instantly, but relentlessly. Here is the power of compounding. While the masses waste their years in distraction, you are quietly building. While they are laughing, scrolling, and complaining, you are absorbing, growing, evolving. At first, they will not notice. You will look the same, but then one day, the difference will be undeniable. They will wonder how you became so sharp, so steady, so far ahead. The answer will be simple: daily compounding. This is why you must refuse to quit. One skipped day seems small, one wasted week seems harmless, but over time, they destroy you. Knowledge, like fire, must be fed daily. Feed it, and it becomes unstoppable. Starve it, and it dies. The compounding edge is what makes you terrifying to your rivals. Because you are not depending on luck. You are not waiting for miracles. You are building daily, patiently, relentlessly. And one day they will realize, too late, that you have already won. Comment it now and mark it into your law. My knowledge compounds into power. 6. Turning obstacles into fuel. The path to power is never smooth. The man who expects an easy journey has already lost. You will face obstacles. You will face failures. You will face betrayals, delays, and defeats. These are not accidents. They are the very structure of the game. Most men collapse under these trials. They see obstacles as curses, failures as proof that they are not worthy. They complain, they whine, they run back to comfort. That is why they remain weak. That is why they remain forgettable. But you must be different. When armed with knowledge, you see obstacles for what they really are: training. You see failures not as final, but as lessons. You see betrayal not as loss, but as revelation. Knowledge allows you to turn every wound into fuel. Think of fire. Fire grows stronger when fed with resistance. Storms may rage, but the fire that refuses to die grows hotter. Knowledge is that fire. When you study, when you learn, when you expand your mind daily, you prepare yourself to bend every setback into advantage. Machiavelli taught that fortune tests men by resisting them. She wants to see who deserves her rewards. The weak cry and retreat. The strong persist. But the wise, the truly dangerous, study their setbacks. They adapt. They weaponize their pain. They learn from every strike and rise sharper than before. Imagine a soldier who loses a battle. The fool curses his fate. The coward runs. But the strategist studies the defeat. He learns the enemy's strengths, his own weaknesses, the mistakes that cost him the field. And when he marches again, he is no longer the same man. He is twice as dangerous. This is how obstacles feed you. If you are wise enough to learn, failures reveal truths success hides. Betrayal exposes those you should never have trusted. Delays teach you patience. Losses teach you precision. Every obstacle carries within it the seed of your next victory, but only if you educate yourself enough to see it. This is why daily education is non-negotiable. Without knowledge, obstacles crush you. With knowledge, obstacles sharpen you. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me? How can I turn this to my advantage?" That question alone separates kings from peasants. The weak man sees obstacles as walls. The strong man sees them as doors, locked, heavy, but doors nonetheless. And knowledge is the key. So embrace the setbacks, expect them. Do not curse the storm, train within it. Do not fear betrayal. Let it teach you who deserves your loyalty. Do not hate failure. Let it expose the path to success. Each obstacle you endure adds another layer of armor to your spirit. Each one you overcome becomes another stone in the fortress of your mind. And when your rivals see you rise again and again, they will break. Because nothing terrifies an enemy more than the man who cannot be defeated by defeat itself. This is how you become untouchable, by turning obstacles into fuel, by weaponizing failure, by letting every setback feed the fire of your persistence. Write it now in the comments and seal it as your creed. I turn obstacles into fuel. 7. The chessboard of allies and enemies. No man rises alone. No empire is built in isolation. To climb higher, you will encounter allies, you will face enemies, and you will suffer betrayal. These three forces are unavoidable. They are the pieces on the chessboard of power. The weak man ignores them. The strong man learns to master them. Let us begin with allies. People speak of loyalty as if it were eternal. They call themselves brothers, friends, partners for life. But the truth, Machiavelli's truth, is colder. Loyalty lasts only as long as it serves interest. The moment it no longer benefits them, Loyalty evaporates. Do not be surprised. Do not be angry. This is human nature. The wise man accepts this truth. He does not depend on blind loyalty. He builds alliances carefully, not with emotion, but with calculation. He asks, what do they want? What do they gain from standing with me? As long as the alliance serves them, it will stand. When it no longer does, it will collapse. And when it collapses, you must be ready. Reward loyalty, but never rely on it. Trust actions, not promises. Now to enemies. Most fear them. You should not. Enemies are often more honest than allies. Allies may flatter you, hide their true intentions, even deceive you. But an enemy? He shows his hatred openly. He wants you destroyed. That makes him predictable. Predictability is a gift. A clever enemy forces you to sharpen yourself. His opposition makes you grow stronger. Do not run from enemies. Study them. Let them reveal their weaknesses through their attacks. Let their obsession with you drain their energy, while you remain calm, strategic, and precise. Sometimes your enemies will do more to prepare you for greatness than your friends ever could. But the harshest reality is betrayal. Betrayal cuts deepest because it comes from those closest, from the ones you once trusted. Betrayal feels like poison, but it is also truth revealed. It shows you who was never truly with you. It unmasks hidden envy, hidden weakness, hidden motives. Here is how you must handle betrayal. First, expect it. Never be naive. Assume that betrayal is always possible. This mindset does not make you paranoid. It makes you prepared. Second, respond decisively. Betrayal cannot be ignored. If you forgive it too easily, you invite more of it. Machiavelli warned rulers, cruelty, when necessary, must be sharp, swift, and remembered. Deal with betrayal in the same way, cold, final, and public. But remember, betrayal can also serve you. Sometimes the traitor teaches you lessons no ally could. Sometimes betrayal exposes the weaknesses in your circle, or even in yourself. Do not waste betrayal. Use it, learn from it, weaponize it. This is the chessboard. Allies are temporary tools, enemies are predictable teachers, and betrayal is inevitable revelation. If you can master these three, no move will surprise you. You will adapt, you will adjust, you will win. Knowledge gives you the edge here. Knowledge of human nature, knowledge of motives, knowledge of history. With it, you can read people like open books. You will see their desires, their fears, their hidden agendas. While they play checkers, you play chess. While they react, you anticipate. While they stumble in emotion, you move with cold calculation. So study those around you. Ask, who strengthens me? Who envies me? Who hides a dagger behind their smile? Do not close your eyes. See people as they are, not as you wish them to be. Accept the truth, then use it. The weak man is destroyed by betrayal. The strong man survives it. The wise man turns it into power. Be that man. Comment it now. Declare it as your law. I master the chessboard of power. 8. Fear and love, the twin weapons of control. Every man who rises to power faces one timeless question. Is it better to be feared or loved? Weak men avoid this question because they want both without sacrifice. They want admiration without risk, obedience without struggle. But Machiavelli faced it with brutal honesty. If you cannot be both, then it is far safer to be feared. Why? Because love is fragile. Love is built on emotion, and emotion shifts like the wind. Men love you when you give them what they want. They love you when you reflect their desires, when you serve their interest. But when you deny them, when you make decisions that hurt them, when your path threatens their comfort, love evaporates. Their devotion collapses, and you are left exposed. Fear, however, is primal. Fear does not depend on emotion. Fear is rooted in instinct, the deepest survival code of every human. A man who fears you may still hate you, but he will hesitate to cross you. Fear creates boundaries love cannot. Fear holds men steady even when their hearts waver. Fear endures when love fades. But understand this: fear does not mean blind cruelty. It does not mean reckless violence or thoughtless rage. That is the mistake of tyrants, and tyrants always fall. Machiavelli never advised foolish brutality. He advised calculated fear, a punishment sharp, swift, and remembered. A response measured, not wild, but strategic. True fear is not chaos, it is order. And what of love? Should you discard it completely? Number. Love has value. Love creates loyalty. Love can inspire men to follow you willingly, to sacrifice for you, to fight harder than fear alone could command. Love builds devotion. Love warms the cold edges of fear. But love by itself is weak. If men love you but do not fear you, they will admire you, yet ignore your boundaries. They will call you noble while secretly disobeying. The balance is the secret. The untouchable man learns to wield both. He shows enough strength that men fear crossing him. He shows enough generosity that they value standing beside him. He rewards loyalty so that it feels worthwhile, but he punishes betrayal so that it feels fatal. Fear disciplines, love inspires. Together, they create stability. This is Machiavelli's winning strategy. Fear makes men careful. Love makes them committed. If you can master both, you command them completely. Think about how this applies to your life. With your allies, give respect, but enforce limits. Do not be so kind that your strength is ignored. Do not be so ruthless that their loyalty breaks. With your enemies, let them admire your resolve, but let them also dread your response. And with yourself, love your ambition enough to protect it fiercely, but fear your weakness enough to destroy it daily. Most men chase only love and become dependent on approval. They live for applause, for validation, for the shallow warmth of admiration. Others chase only fear and become hated tyrants, hunted, fragile, destined to collapse. But the wise man, the Machiavellian man, bends both. He uses love to draw men close and fear to keep them in line. This dual mastery makes you untouchable, because people cannot read you. They cannot decide if you are kind or cruel. They cannot tell if you are ally or predator. And that uncertainty gives you control. They respect you, but they never underestimate you. They follow you, but they never forget the cost of betrayal. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are ungrateful, selfish, and quick to abandon love when it suits them, but they never forget fear. Fear remains. Love may strengthen your rule, but fear ensures it survives. So do not chase love. Do not worship fear. Forge both into twin blades. Wield them together, one hand inspiring, the other disciplining. That is how rulers endure. That is how predators remain kings. That is how you become untouchable. Write it now in the comments and carve it into your creed. I wield fear and love as my weapons." 9. The art of patience and timing. Most men are destroyed not because they are weak, but because they are impatient. They move too soon, or they move too late. They rush when they should wait, and they hesitate when they should strike. They confuse movement with progress. They mistake noise for power. And in their frenzy, they reveal themselves naked, unprepared, vulnerable. The untouchable man knows better. He understands that patience is not weakness. Patience is strategy. Timing is not luck. Timing is a weapon. Together, patience and timing form one of the deadliest skills you can possess. Machiavelli himself wrote that fortune bends to the man who knows when to act. Strike too early and you waste your strength. Strike too late and the opportunity disappears. Both paths lead to ruin. But the man who waits with discipline then strikes at the perfect moment, bends fortune to his will. The predator's lesson. Think of the predator. A lion does not leap as soon as it sees prey. It does not waste its energy in blind rage. It crouches low, silent, patient, waiting for the exact moment when its prey relaxes. And then, with one burst, the lion strikes. The fight is over before it even begins. That is how power works. That is how patience, turned into timing, creates inevitability. The predator wins not through constant movement, but through stillness. It wins by making the strike appear sudden, though in truth it has been planned all along. You must learn to be this predator in your own life. Do not reveal yourself too soon. Do not waste your strength in battles that do not matter. Wait, observe, let others stumble, let them reveal their weaknesses, and then move once, decisively, without hesitation. Patience in speech. Patience is not only for war, it is for words. Most men cannot endure silence. They rush to speak, and in their rush, they expose themselves. Their fears, their ignorance, their desperation. It all spills out. You must be different. In conversation, stay calm. Let silence work for you. Let others drown themselves with words. Let them fill the air with their insecurities. Then, when the time is right, speak slowly, precisely, with words like blades. Few sentences, but each one sharp. That is how patience turns into dominance. Patience in negotiation. The same law applies in negotiation. The impatient man reveals his desperation. He makes concessions too soon. He begs without realizing it. But the man who waits, who lets silence stretch, who lets the other side sweat, creates pressure without speaking a word. Knowledge and patience together make the other man surrender more than he planned, simply because he cannot endure the weight of time. Remember this. Silence is a weapon. Stillness is a threat. Patience creates fear, and fear gives you leverage. Patience in war. History is full of generals destroyed by their own impatience. The reckless commander hurls his men into battle too soon, and they are slaughtered. The cowardly commander delays too long, and opportunity vanishes. Both fail. The victorious commander waits. He studies the terrain, the weather, the enemy. He looks for the crack in the wall, the hidden weakness. Then, when the enemy relaxes, when the moment is ripe, he unleashes all his force in one decisive strike. Victory comes not from endless fighting, but from one blow at the right time. This is true in every arena of life. Your rivals will waste their strength on meaningless battles. They will exhaust themselves trying to win too soon. And when they are weak, you will still be waiting, cold, silent, steady, and then you will strike. The river of fortune. Machiavelli compared fortune to a river, sometimes calm, sometimes raging, always changing. The fool jumps in without preparation and drowns. The coward waits forever, never crossing, and dies stuck on the shore. But the wise man watches. He studies the current, he builds his strength, and when the flow turns in his favor, he crosses, swift, decisive, unstoppable. That is patience, that is timing, waiting with awareness, moving with precision, the rhythm of power. Here is the rhythm of the untouchable: silence, observation, patience, and then sudden, ruthless action. This rhythm unsettles your enemies. They cannot predict you. They cannot read you. They do not know if you will wait or strike. And that uncertainty gives you power. Your rivals will exhaust themselves in constant noise and movement. They will reveal themselves. They will bleed out from their own impatience. While they are busy burning themselves out, you will be sharpening your blade in silence. And when they are weak, you will strike once, and it will be enough. Patience with yourself, and understand this too. Patience is not only with others, it is with yourself. Most men quit because they want results too soon. They train for a week, read for a month, try for a year, and when glory does not appear, they break. But you must train your patience like a soldier trains his body. Know that power is not built overnight. Knowledge compounds slowly. Discipline grows gradually. Victory comes step by step. If you can endure the wait, if you can stay the course, then when others quit, you will still be standing. And that alone will make you dangerous. Strike without hesitation. But patience is only half the law. The other half is timing. You cannot wait forever. You cannot hesitate when the moment comes. The untouchable man is patient in waiting, but ruthless in action. When the door opens, you walk through it. When the weakness appears, you strike it. When fortune tilts in your favor, you seize it without fear. Half measures are weakness. Doubt is death. If you wait for the right moment, then fail to act, you are worse than the fool who rushed. So this is the law. Be patient as a predator, but strike like lightning. Patience shields you from error. Timing gives you victory. Together, they make you untouchable. Write it now in the comments and brand it into your code. I wait with patience. I strike with precision. 10. Becoming untouchable. You've walked with me through knowledge, through discipline, through patience, through fear and love, through betrayal and timing. You've seen the fortress of daily sharpening, the fire of persistence, the chessboard of power, and now we arrive at the summit, the final transformation, becoming untouchable. Let me tell you this truth. Untouchable does not mean invincible. Every man bleeds, every empire falls, death spares no one. But untouchable means something greater. It means you have built yourself so cold, so steady, so relentless that no betrayal can destroy you, no failure can define you, no fear can enslave you. You rise above pain, you rise above distraction, you rise above the petty games of ordinary men. That is untouchable. And how do you reach this state? Through 6 unshakable pillars. 6 foundations of power that Machiavelli himself would respect. Together, they form the blueprint of victory. Pillar 1. Self-mastery. The first kingdom you conquer is yourself. Weak men are ruled by lust, by anger, by fear. They are slaves to their impulses. One insult destroys them. One setback breaks them. They are predictable because they cannot govern themselves. But you must be different. You must govern your mind the way a king governs his city. Command your desires. Discipline your body. Chain your emotions until they obey your will. Machiavelli wrote, "A ruler who cannot command himself cannot command others." Self-rule is the foundation. Without it, nothing else matters. Pillar 2. Strategic detachment. Attachment makes men fragile. They cling to approval, they cling to comfort, they cling to people who will one day betray them, and when those attachments are ripped away, they collapse. The untouchable man is detached. He values loyalty, but does not depend on it. He values victory, but does not shatter in defeat. His identity is not tied to outcomes. His power is not borrowed from applause. He carries his center inside himself, calm, cold, steady. When the world shifts, he does not. This is the second law. Remain detached, remain free, because what you cannot walk away from owns you. Pillar 3. Perception control. Men do not see truth. They see appearances, and they judge by appearances. That is why perception is power. You must master how you are seen. Guard your reputation as if it were a weapon. Appear strong even when wounded. Appear calm even when burning. Appear mysterious, unreadable, untouchable, because men fear what they cannot understand. Machiavelli warned, men judge more by what they see than what they feel. So control the vision, control the story, and you will control the people. Pillar 4. Calculated alliances. No man wins alone. But alliances are not built on love. They are built on usefulness. Allies are loyal only while it benefits them. The moment it does not, they vanish. Accept this. Expect this. Reward loyalty, but never be dependent on it. Choose allies as you choose weapons, useful but replaceable. Know their motives, anticipate their betrayal, always have leverage. The untouchable man uses alliances without being used by them. Pillar 5. Ruthless timing. Timing is the hidden blade of power. Fortune bows to the man who knows when to wait and when to strike. The impatient rush into battle unprepared. The coward delays until opportunity dies. Both fail, but the disciplined man waits. He studies, he sharpens, and then, at the perfect moment, he moves without hesitation. One strike at the right time outweighs 100 frantic blows. Learn this law, and you will win battles before they even begin. Pillar 6. The aura of inevitability. This is the highest level. When all pillars combine, your discipline, your detachment, your perception, your alliances, your timing, you radiate inevitability. People begin to believe you cannot be stopped. Enemies lose courage before the fight begins. Allies cling to you for safety. Betrayers hesitate, afraid of the consequences. This aura is power itself. It makes resistance feel pointless. It makes victory feel certain. You don't just fight battles, you win them in the minds of others before the first move is made. These 6 pillars form the fortress of the untouchable, but knowing them is not enough. You must live them. You must build them daily, relentlessly. That means educating yourself every single day. That means sharpening your knowledge until it becomes foresight. That means turning every setback into fuel, every betrayal into wisdom, every failure into fire. That means balancing fear and love, patience and timing, silence and strike. This is not a path for the weak, not a path for the lazy. This is the road of predators, rulers, strategists, the road of men who will not bow. Machiavelli understood, fortune favors the bold, but she obeys the prepared. And preparation comes only from relentless learning and relentless discipline. So now I ask you, will you stay ordinary, chained by distraction, addicted to comfort, begging for approval? Or will you take this path, the hard path, the sharp path, the path of men who endure, who conquer, who rise, untouchable? If you are ready, then declare it. Write it now in the comments and brand it into your identity. I am untouchable. And if these words struck something in you, if they carved themselves into your mind, then commit further. Like this video. Subscribe to Mental Fort, turn on notifications, because this is only the beginning. Every day we sharpen, every day we rise, every day we train until the world learns to fear and respect us, until we become what no betrayal, no enemy, no failure can destroy: untouchable.